and the moment has come. Dillon Gabriel has broken his silence about his first NFL start.
What if I told you the so-called next big thing just fumbled his entire debut like it was a prank video, and in doing so, handed Shedeur Sanders the golden ticket he's been praying for? Yet, Dillon Gabriel's first game didn't just go bad, it went viral for all the wrong reasons. It was like watching a shopping cart race downhill in San Francisco. Chaotic, fast, and painful to look at. The hype, gone. The internet, in flames. The Heisman buzz, straight up canceled before halftime. It finally happened. The hype train exploded, and the wreckage was glorious. Fans came in expecting fireworks and left watching a comedy special. Gabriel's grand debut turned into a live tutorial on how to ruin a reputation in real time. You could feel it. The entire stadium just froze, realizing the new era they were promised looked suspiciously like the same old heartbreak, just with shinier jerseys and uglier interceptions. The memes? Oh, they didn't wait. They hit social media faster than a fumbled snap. One bad throw and the timeline was flooded. Screenshots, clown emojis, crying memes, the whole circus. And through all that chaos, one door swung wide open. And guess who was standing right there with a grin? Shedeur Sanders. Because if you've been following this wild soap opera known as college football, you already know the pattern. Someone gets crowned the savior before they even play, the media worships them like football royalty, and then boom, they trip over their own hype. Gabriel didn't just drop the ball, he rewrote the manual on how to turn preseason praise into mid-game memes. Every "he's the guy" take aged overnight like milk left out in the Texas sun. You could see fans sitting there in disbelief, blinking in slow motion, realizing their dream debut.
Yeah, I think there's always something to build on. No moral victories whatsoever, but I think regardless of result, week to week, there's a process, and more time you spend around anyone, you're gonna get more continuity, and that's, QB to receiver, that's QB to running back, that's us as a whole unit coming together really, and getting comfortable with our unit.
What if I told you the quarterback everyone
turned into a 4-quarter disaster film titled How to Lose a Fan Base in One Afternoon? It's almost poetic. Dillon spent weeks being called the chosen one, the golden boy, the next legend. But instead, he made defensive coordinators look like absolute masterminds. You know it's bad when rival fan bases start thanking you online for the laughs. That's when you know your debut went off the rails. And somewhere out in Colorado, you can bet Shedeur Sanders was sitting back, legs kicked up, smiling like a man who just got handed the keys to a kingdom he didn't even have to fight for. When Dillon fumbled, Shedeur's spotlight exploded. 10 times brighter, 10 times louder. Overnight, every sports show that had moved on was suddenly back, replaying his highlights, showing old clips and saying, hey, remember this kid? The one who actually delivers when it counts? But let's rewind for a second. The Dillon Gabriel hype didn't just pop out of nowhere. It was built, polished, and packaged like a Hollywood blockbuster. Analysts gushed like proud parents before the first snap, calling him the future, the savior, the guy who'd rewrite college football. He did rewrite something all right.
I'm here to tell you, man, watching that game this morning against my Minnesota Vikings when Dillon Gabriel took the field, like I stated to you guys, Cleveland Browns defense is an elite defense. They was the #1 rated defense coming into the day's game. And Cleveland Brown had a lot of possessions on the short side of the field. You look at the first touchdown that Dillon Gabriel threw. Judkins, Cleveland's running back, was killing us, gashing us, doing all the garbage work. Then you got down there to the 3-yard line, and Dillon Gabriel threw a 3-yard touchdown.
He redefined how fast the internet can flip from legend to liability. One game, and he turned his debut into a masterclass in disappointment. Even the commentators ran out of nice words, switching from just a rough start to, oh no, not again, in real time. The game plan looked like it was scribbled on a napkin during lunch break. Every drive died faster than the last, and you could see it, the slow crumble of faith in the fans' eyes. They went through the 5 stages of football grief before halftime: denial, anger, bargaining, despair, and finally, sarcasm. Meanwhile, social media turned into a war zone. Every bad throw became a meme before the ball even hit the turf. Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, everyone was having a field day. Dillon's name trended for all the wrong reasons, while Shedeur's name rose from the ashes like a digital phoenix. One man's failure became another man's resurrection. And that's when the whispers started flying. Is it finally Shedeur's turn? They asked. Because let's be real, he's been waiting for this. Every time the media crowns another future superstar, Shedeur just sits there, polishing his stats and keeping receipts. He knows timing is everything. Dillon didn't just drop the ball.
Now, you're going to hear the analysts. They're going to tell you Dillon Gabriel did a great job. He handled the team well. And those of us that watched the game, we're not going to knock his back end, but we are going to tell the truth. Dillon Gabriel did exactly what he was told to do. Now, whether or not you think that was good or not, that's left to see. But what we can tell you is that the stats don't lie. They don't have a...
He opened a vacuum and Shedeur slid right in like he was meant for it. It's wild how fast the story flipped. Yesterday's hero turned into today's headline joke, and the guy they said was washed is suddenly back in every conversation. The spotlight's ruthless, but Shedeur Sanders, he knows exactly how to use it. Last week, everybody was wondering if Shedeur Sanders could keep up with the new wave. This week, that so-called wave hit a rock, flipped over, and sank without a trace. Meanwhile, Shedeur's just chilling, calm, confident, maybe even a little amused, watching the chaos unfold while staying steady in his lane. While others are tripping over their own hype, he's been cool, efficient, and calculated, like a sniper in slow motion. That's the kind of calm that doesn't come from arrogance. It comes from proof. He doesn't need hype. He's got history.
Down everything that we want to see in this video, how it affects Dillon Gabriel going forward. Does it affect Shedeur Sanders at all? Maybe, maybe not. We did hear today actually that Shedeur Sanders will play at some point this season. They expect him to. Thought there was a lot of inconsistencies with Dillon Gabriel. A lot of overthrown balls, maybe some underthrown balls, right? Just a lot of mix-up. I just wasn't sure.
See, with Shedeur, confidence isn't for show. It's built on data. Every throw, every drive, every comeback moment is evidence. He's been tested, doubted, dragged through the mud, and every single time, he came out sharper. That's the difference. Dillon Gabriel had a PR team and catchy headlines, but Shedeur Sanders, he's got a resume that speaks. And you can feel it now, the shift in energy, the buzz in the air. The same people who were hyping Dillon up like he was football's next messiah are now switching sides faster than a bandwagon fan in the fourth quarter. Suddenly, everyone's remembering Shedeur's numbers. Elite completion rates, laser accuracy, pocket presence smoother than silk. His poise under pressure looks straight out of a video game, like the controllers in his hands while everyone else glitches out. As the replays of Dillon's low-light reel kept looping, fans couldn't help but imagine what Shedeur would have done in those same moments. Spoiler alert, it definitely wouldn't include tossing the ball to the wrong jersey. By halftime, the conversation had flipped. It wasn't even about Dillon anymore. Every commentator, every fan, every clip on social media started focusing on the other guy, the one who didn't even touch the field. And that's when you know it's over. The spotlight's no longer chasing the one who failed.
Come down to it, you know, and I think in any game you're going to want 45 plays back. Of course, the result will feel different, and maybe your 45 plays may feel different, but you know that's the game we live and play in. So, got to be better in those 4 to 5 plays is what and why you continue to work as hard as you do.
Dillon, there were a number of 3 or 4 throws where it looked like you and the receiver were not on the same page. Were those missing?
It wasn't not on the same page. That's me on my end, trying to be smart in certain situations, and you know we get cloud and get want to make an answer.
It's hunting for the one who's ready. Oh, the irony. After an entire offseason of doubting whether Shedeur was ready for the big stage, he didn't even have to take a snap to prove it. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel stepped into the spotlight and melted faster than ice in July. It was almost karmic, like the football gods decided to remind everyone that hype isn't the same as skill, and swagger without execution, that's just background noise. The excuses started flying before the final whistle even blew. The weather messed him up, the play calling was off, the offensive line didn't protect, the lighting was weird. Someone probably even blamed Mercury being in retrograde.
We're going right to Kevin Stefanski, and we're going to look at your playbook. And the two Kevins today, in the bowl of the Kevins that coach for both teams, one Kevin's playbook looked a certain way with a backup journeyman quarterback named Carson Wentz, whose arm was hurt, and a journeyman back, and 3 different offensive linemen, right? 60% of the offensive line is gone. But you know what they did? They found a way to creatively get Justin Jefferson.
Anything to avoid saying the obvious. Dillon didn't just stumble. He flopped in spectacular fashion. It was like watching a magic trick go horribly wrong. The rabbit's gone, the hat's empty, and the magician's pretending it's all part of the plan. You could see the moment it hit him too, that dreadful, this isn't going according to script realization. Each throw got shakier, each sideline glance more desperate. His rhythm vanished, his swagger disappeared, and his so-called confidence evaporated under those blinding stadium lights. And then came that look.
Dillon Gabriel was 19 for 33 in terms of completions. He had 2 touchdowns, an interception. He did get sacked, and he did throw the ball away quite a bit. But he also does a lot of what I call this tippy paws kind of football. He doesn't do a lot of long throwing because he can't. He's short. He can't see over the line. And his accuracy in throwing long range, it's not.
The one every athlete fears, that frozen wide-eyed, how did this happen? Face. The kind of look that turns failure into memes before the game's even over. And now, Dillon's stock is dropping faster than crypto in 2022. His hype's gone, his momentum's shattered, and his seat on the next big thing train just got taken. The door's wide open now. No, scratch that. It's paved in red carpet for one man, Shedeur Sanders. Every commentator, every analyst, every fan scrolling through their feed is asking the same question. Is it finally Shedeur's time? Because let's be real, it's starting to look like destiny. Dillon was supposed to be the roadblock, the competition, the comparison point. But after that performance, that roadblock turned into a plastic traffic cone. And Shedeur doesn't slow down for traffic cones. Momentum in football is ruthless. One bad game can flip an entire season upside down. Dillon Gabriel was supposed to be unstoppable, untouchable, the story of the year. And now, he's trending under what went wrong, while Shedeur Sanders' name is climbing back to the top like it never left.
So, I told you so, and the Minnesota Vikings was shooting, and they was gunning to beat Dillon Gabriel. So as you can see, Dillon Gabriel lost to the Minnesota Vikings. And what I can tell you, man, you can get this nigga all the balls. Yes, you get him all the turnovers, and he can't win. I tell you this, Joe Flacco would have won that game. Yes, he would have won that game with that many turnovers. They should have took Dillon out, and then Flacco get back in. And boom, Flacco just had too many turnovers. Yes, but yeah, at that time against that team. But yes, this one where the Cleveland Browns was up on turnovers, making Minnesota turn the ball over, and Dillon Gabriel come in, and he can't drive down the field.
And in that vacuum of doubt, Shedeur Sanders' name is shining brighter than ever. It's like college football just hit the reset button, and guess who's standing right at the top of the list? There's something poetic about it too. Shedeur doesn't chase clout. He earns it over and over, every time the noise fades and the cameras swing his way. He doesn't need to go viral for slip-ups or fumbles. His highlights speak louder than any headline. The same machine that hyped Dillon Gabriel up just turned around and handed Shedeur the spotlight. No promo needed. But here's the real kicker. This isn't just about one bad game. This is about what happens next. Sure, Dillon can try to bounce back, maybe even clean up the mess, but first impressions, they stick. And his first one was rough, like career-defining rough. You don't get many shots to prove you belong at this level, and when your debut ends up looking like an audition for the opposing team's highlight reel, that trust disappears quick. Meanwhile, Shedeur is sitting there cool as ice.
If you look at the way Dillon Gabriel played and the way that offense was constructed from Kevin Stefanski, Dillon Gabriel played like a robot. It was a lot of dip and dunks. It was a lot of rollouts and just throw the ball to the running back coming out of the backfield. It was a lot of opposite directions, just getting the ball out quick, dipping and dunk. But if you're really watching the game and you're watching Dillon Gabriel throw the ball down the field, he just doesn't have it. Anything that's past 15 yards, Dillon Gabriel don't have it. It's a lot of times that he was just throwing the ball and he had no control over the ball.
Consistent, polished, ready to remind everyone that preparation beats potential every single time. He's not panicking, not chasing validation, just waiting for his turn to let the work speak. So yeah, people are starting to ask the question out loud now. Is it finally Shedeur's time? Because the contrast between the two couldn't be louder. Dillon looked like he was chasing the game, running to catch up to something he never quite grasped. Shedeur, he plays like he's conducting the whole orchestra. Dillon's energy screamed pressure, shaky, nervous, scrambling for control, while Shedeur's presence whispers power, calm, confidence. One cracked under the spotlight, the other thrives in it. It's that razor-sharp difference that reminds everyone this game isn't just about muscle or arm strength. It's about mindset. And right now, Shedeur's mindset looks bulletproof. He's not out here trying to prove the haters wrong anymore. He's proving the believers right. Every fan who's been riding with him, every analyst who saw the potential early, every person who watched him stay composed while others fell apart.
Oh my God, 25 seconds left. Look at the win probability. Look at the win probability. Oh my God. Okay, I might as well just start recording the video now because it's about over 25 seconds.
This is their moment too. Shedeur's not waiting for validation. He is the validation. The craziest part? All this chaos is happening without Shedeur even touching the field. That's power. When your name dominates every headline, not because of what you did wrong, but because of what someone else couldn't do right. It's wild how fast the story flipped. One week, Dillon Gabriel was being crowned as the next big thing. The next, he's the cautionary tale everyone's dissecting on sports talk shows. And in that silence between takes, every analyst keeps circling back to one name, Shedeur Sanders. They're replaying his old highlights like it's breaking news. Every throw, every clutch moment, every calm glance before a perfect strike. Suddenly,
we're going to react to his last 25 seconds. Dillon Gabriel played, and I want to get this out. I want to give Dillon Gabriel a C plus B minus. C plus B minus, right? Now, I will say, luckily, because I know there's going to be a halftime clip in here where I talk about how he did average more air yards, right? He did average more air yards.
It all means more. Fans who used to argue about who the future of college football was aren't arguing anymore. They're realizing it's been sitting right in front of them the whole time. Steady, composed, unbothered. You can almost feel it. That energy shift, that sense that something big is coming. The same people who laughed at the idea of Shedeur leading the charge are now tweeting things like, he might actually be the one. And it's not hype this time, it's respect. He's earned that through consistency, not clout. While everyone else was busy chasing the spotlight, he was out there mastering the craft. And now the timing couldn't be better. Dillon's stumble didn't just open a door, it kicked it wide open. The team's confidence is shaking, the fans are restless, and the coaches are out of excuses. You can feel the weight shifting in the locker room too. Like everybody knows what's about to happen, they're just waiting for someone to say it out loud. Because when one quarterback falls,
the Cleveland Browns would not score 30 points this season. The only time you will see the Cleveland Browns score 30 points this season was Shedeur Sanders' preseason game. You go look at my first video before the first game. They would not. Yes, they practiced like they prayed. You've seen the preseason game. What was Dillon Gabriel's points on the preseason game? The man can only score 7 to 14 points. Same for Joe Flacco. They cannot put over 20. Yes, if they was expecting to win, they're not going to win too many games with 14 to 17 points. Can't score over 20 points. You're not going to be able to win no games that way. Yes, especially being in the AFC to compete with the Chiefs and everybody else, you can't. But we do know a person that did score 30, Shedeur Sanders. Yes, Shedeur does game winners because that where they had 17-21, and it was Cleveland's ball at the end.
The other rises. That's how this game works. And if we're being honest, Shedeur's been ready. He's got the poise, the precision, the leadership, everything Dillon was supposed to show but couldn't. And now, the opportunity is right there, staring everyone in the face. It's poetic, really. All season long, people have been asking if Shedeur would get another shot to prove himself. Looks like fate just handed him the perfect setup. Because when pressure builds and chaos takes over, there's always one player who stays cool, calm, and collected. And that player, it's Shedeur Sanders, every single time. So while Dillon Gabriel's first game goes down as a masterclass in what not to do on your debut, Shedeur Sanders is out there in silence, gearing up for his next statement game. The kind that doesn't just win fans, it builds legends. The kind that makes people realize that failure doesn't always end a story. Sometimes it opens a brand new chapter. And that chapter, it's got Shedeur's name written all over it.
Comes to the Browns as we do our little post game here following the game in London where they lost to the Minnesota Vikings 21-17. Complimentary football. Well, normally you would think that's three phases of the ball. That would be offense, defense, special teams. There's the fourth, and say what you want. Every week we hear the coaches say, we've got to coach better. I got to tell you, Daryl, inside of the last 4 minutes of the game, I'm pointing that game 100% on play calling and mistakes that the coaching staff made on this one. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, that fourth quarter, Andy, in which the Browns picked up.
Because in football, hype fades fast, but results stick forever. Dillon had the marketing, but Shedeur's got the proof. One froze under the lights, the other shines because of them. And that's the real difference. When the pressure hits, Shedeur doesn't panic. He performs. It's crazy how this game works. One player's collapse becomes another's breakthrough. The door that slammed on Dillon just swung wide open for Shedeur Sanders, and everyone knows exactly who's about to walk through it. He doesn't need approval, he doesn't need headlines, he just needs the ball. And when that ball hits his hands, it's over. You already know how that story ends. Fireworks, highlights, and silence from every doubter who said he couldn't do it. Let the internet keep replaying Dillon's bloopers all at once. Shedeur is busy writing the sequel. One play, one drive, one highlight at a time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you on the next one.